Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen.
Good afternoon, sir.
Okay. Last session we have completed up to banking master files. Uh, Today we will start from banking transactions. Right. Now, when you are receiving money from your customers or you are paying to your suppliers, you can enter those transactions from customers, transactions, customer receipts, or when you are paying to your suppliers, you can enter payments from suppliers, transaction, supplier payments. Now, those transactions also you can enter from banking. You can go to banking transactions from banking, transactions, banking, and you can enter your customer receipts, supplier payments, those transactions. In addition to that, if you want to do any fund transfer or if you want to enter any account transactions or tax payments, you can do from banking transactions. After you go to the banking transaction, you can view your bank account. From here, this bank or credit card menu, you can select your bank account which you are going to enter transactions. If you set default bank account, you will see that bank account, or if you want to change your bank account, you can change from this drop down menu. After you select the bank account, you can view your bank balance and how many transactions in under new transaction you can view. Then there are two tabs, new transactions and review transactions. Your new transactions you can enter under new transaction tab. From here you can enter your transaction. Now assume in practical situation, uh, in your company there are two personnel for accounts department, accounts assistant and accountant. Your accounts assistant will enter transactions, and after enter transaction, your accountant, higher level person, will check those transactions. If it is correct, he can review that transaction. After you reviewed those transactions will move to review transaction. Okay, you can enter new transactions from new transaction tab. After your higher level person or accountant, finance manager can review those transactions. After you review that transaction, it will move to be review transaction tab. So if you want to find any transaction, you can enter that from date and to date, and you can find those transactions. Right. Now you can enter transaction uh, from banking transactions. First, you can select the transaction date. From here, you can select your transaction date. Then you can enter payee name, then description. After that, you can select the transaction type. If you are paying for, if you are receiving money for GL account, you can select GL account or account. Or if you are enter any customer receipts, you can select customer. Then you can select your customers from selection. If you are paying to your supplier, you can select supplier, and from selection you can select your supplier. And if you are doing any fund transfers, you can select transfer, and you can select other bank account. Then there are tax type also. If you want to pay your taxes, you can select that type as tax, and you can select the tax period. Then under reference, you can enter your reference number. If you are paying to your supplier, you can enter your check number. And if you are receiving money from your customer, you can enter that customer check number. And if you are paying to any GL account, you can enter the that GL check number under reference. Then if taxes available, you can select that tax. You can select the tax rate. And if you are paying to your supplier, or if you are paying from your bank, you can enter payment amount under spend. And if you are receiving money, you can enter that receiving amount under received. Okay. After that, you can save that transaction. Okay. First, you can select that transaction date, pay name, description for that payment, and you can select from here account, customer, supplier, transfer, or tax. After that, you can select the selection, enter check number as reference, or if you are receiving any fund transfers or direct transfers, you can enter that reference number. Then if taxes available for that transaction, you can select the relevant tax, and you can enter spent amount or received amount. After that, you can save the transaction, and you can see then first transaction in black color and last transaction in blue color, because we haven't saved that transaction. And you can check if you have any unsaved transaction, it's in blue color. After you save that transaction, it will change the color. Right. Now you can enter one supplier payment and one customer receipt from bank transactions. Okay, for an example, if you are paying rent, you can enter that pay name and description. Then you can select type as account, and from selection you can select rental expenses, and you can enter check number. If tax available, you can select tax type, or you can select no tax, and under spend column you can enter your rent amount. After you enter these details, you can save changes, then your bank balance will change. Right. Like that, you can enter transaction. Now we will move to additional features in banking. First, there's a arrow show more button. By clicking that, you can enter exclusive amount or tax. If you have any taxes, you can view that tax amount. And in addition to that, you can view analysis codes. From here, you can view analysis code. And if you want to enter any comments for this transaction, you can enter. And if you are paying for this account that it's related to time tracking module, you can select that project also. Right. Then if you want to view user defined fields, by clicking this show user defined fields, you can enter user defined fields details. Next, create rule. Now we have created rule from this list, quick entry rules. Those rules you can enter from here. Next, if you want to split transaction, now assume you have rented 2 apartments for your office. Then you want to enter uh, or you want to split to 2 GL accounts. Okay, or else one transaction, one payment, one check, you want to allocate for 2 GL accounts. Now if you want to allocate from one check to GL accounts, you can split that transaction. You can click this split transaction, and from here you can enter description account. From here you can select account, then you can enter amount for that GL account. Assume for rental expenses we will pay 20,000. Then next account, assume office expenses, we will pay 30,000. Right. After you enter those transaction, you can view split total 50,000, remainder 0, because we have allocated that total 50,000 for this transaction, and payment total. From split transactions, you can enter more than one, you can select more than one GL accounts for one payment. Okay, if you want, you can add more. Then you need to change this one amount. Then you can see that split total 35,000, remainder 15,000. You can select another account, and right, you can enter or you can split accounts. From here, you can select what are the accounts you are splitting. Like that, one transaction you can split to more than one GL accounts. Like that, if you are receiving payment, if you are receiving receipt from one customer and you want to allocate for more than one customer, in that case, for those customers also you can split. You can select customers and you can split the transaction. And if you want to pay from one check, you want to pay more than one supplier, you can split that supplier transaction. Like this, you can split supplier transactions. Then after you enter a split transaction, this remainder should be 0. Right. Then you can split transaction. After that, there's a file mark. By clicking this add attachment, you can attach document for this transaction. You can attach up to 2 MB and 5 attachments. Right. Next, allocate. Now you can enter supplier payment from this banking transaction, this screen. And if you want to allocate payment to outstanding invoice, you can click this allocate button. Then system will display unpaid invoices. Then it will allocate to invoices. Okay. If you have any unpaid invoices, system will allocate to those invoices. Then you can allocate your payments to outstanding invoices. Okay, now here we have allocated to opening balance and this 120 invoice and 122 invoice. Payment amount 50,000, allocated 50,000, unallocated 0. Okay. Now when you are into transactions or when you enter supplier payments from under supplier transactions, supplier payment, add supplier payment, select the supplier. Now if you are allocating invoices in here like this, you can allocate your payments to outstanding invoices by clicking allocate button. Then plus mark. If you want to add any line to this screen, you can add by clicking this plus mark. And if you want to remove any line, you can click this delete line button. Like that, you can add or remove lines. Okay. After that, you can save changes. Then it will update your bank balance. And you can customize this banking grid by clicking this customize button. And if you want to add that analysis code, you can tick here and save. Then that analysis code will display. If you want to remove, you can untick that option. Then it will remove. Furthermore, if you want to search any transaction, you can type that any name or transaction description, then system will search that transaction. Right, now you can practice this allocation, split, and attachment, and you can try that adding or removing lines. Okay, like that you can split or attach documents to payment or receipt lines. And if you attach any document or if you split any transaction, or if you enter additional details, you can view that that icon's color will change to orange color. Right, next we will move to these buttons. You can see some inactivated buttons available: mark as review, delete, keep duplicates, finish edit. If you tick any line, uh, after you tick any line, you can view that those buttons will activate. Now first one, mark as reviewed. If you want to review any transaction, if you check any transaction and you want to review, you can click mark as reviewed. Then if you want to delete any transaction, you can tick one or more transaction and you can delete. Next, uh, you can import your bank statement to the system, and if system find any duplicate values, for an example, same value repeating in more than one line, system will assume it's a duplicate value. Then if you want to keep duplicate values, you can select those transactions and you can click this keep duplicate. And also you can if you want to change more than one transaction at once, you can select those transactions. Now for an example, you want to change tax type of these three selected transactions, then you can tick those transactions and click this batch edit. Then you can change this tax type. Then all three transactions, that tax type has changed to 8%. Maybe we'll check again. We want to again change to zero rate tax or no tax. Sorry. First, you need to select that transaction. After that, click batch edit. Then click on finish edit. Then you can see these three transactions date has changed. Like that, if you want to change several transactions at once, you can select those transactions and click batch edit. After that, you can do the changes and finish edits. Then those changes will happen to all transactions. Okay, like that, if you want, you can change your transaction or more than one transaction. Next, import bank statement. You can upload your bank statement to the system. Then you don't want to manually enter transaction, and bank transaction will upload to system. Now from here, by clicking this import bank statement, you can import your bank statement. There are three file types: OFX, CSV, historical CSV. According to your bank statement file type, you can import your uh, bank statement. And also now in CSV, if you select CSV, you can view example from here. If you select CSV, it's display only 3 columns. If you select CSV, you can view only, or you can upload only date field, description and amount only. And if you want to, now here you can see some amounts in minus, some amounts in plus. If you are doing any payment, if you are uploading credit transaction, it will display in minus, and debit transaction, it will display as plus amount. Then if you select historical CSV, if you select historical CSV, you can view that date, payee, and all columns you can view. In first example, we have selected CSV. If you select CSV, we can view only date, description and amount. But if you select CSV, historical CSV, historic CSV, you can view all columns. Right. Now we will try to upload one bank statement. First, we can change these dates. You will enter today's date. So we will download some transaction. From here, we will export. And we will change some details. We will change all date to 7th. Right, like that, we will enter few transactions. Last one I haven't changed. And when you are importing your bank statement, please remember, except your date column, other all columns should be in general format. Okay, from here you can select the format, except date column, other all data should be in general format. Even your values also should in general format. And before upload, please check you have any now under description or selection, whether you have any double spaces values. Okay, if you have any double spaces value, you cannot import that bank statement, or that transaction you cannot import. Okay, and also if you want to import data, there are few two options actually, based on date range. If you want to import all transactions in your bank statement, you can select all transaction. And if you want to import only specific dates, you can select that, you can select dates to import, and from here, from date to date, you can select the date range. Okay, after you select file, you can click on import file. Okay, we will try from another company. Okay, now you can view your historical CSV file. Your historical CSV file imported completed successfully. 4 rows successfully imported. Okay, like that, you can import your bank statement. Right now, we have uploaded 8 rows. Like that, you can import your bank statements. Right now, you can try to import bank statement. You can first export your entered transactions, and you can import that uh, bank statement. Okay, please try to import your bank statement. Okay, like that you can import bank statements. Okay, right. Next, we will move to reconcile banks and credit cards. Now, after each month, after you received your bank statement, it's better to do your bank reconciliation, and you can do the bank reconciliation from the system. Go to banking, transactions, reconcile banks and credit cards. First, you need to select your bank account. Then you can select the date range, uh, the month you are going to reconcile. From date to date you can select, and under statement balance you need to enter bank statement balance. You can select bank account, then you can select from date to date and enter bank statement date. Then that range, this period, bank transaction will display here, and these transactions, if available in the bank statement, you can tick here. Then it will reconcile like that. Those transactions you can reconcile, and if you correctly do the bank reconciliation, the difference should be 0. Okay, you can tick if this transaction available in the bank statement, you can tick here. Then you can see that reconcile now has changed, and difference will change. And if you correctly do this bank statement, the difference should be 0. Okay, after that, if you correctly do the done this bank reconciliation, this difference should be 0, and you can print and save this bank statement. Okay, now you can try do bank reconciliation. Go to banking, transaction, reconcile banks and credit cards. Okay, and when you are doing bank reconciliation, you can view reference number, date, selection, document type, reconciled, and total amounts. If description or supply reference available, you can view. And also you can click in this heading, you can sort that transaction. So if you want to sort from date, or if you want to sort from values, you can sort from by clicking this heading. And also now assume you have a very lengthy bank transaction or bank statement, then you will do, or you will tick a few transactions, and you will save that bank reconciliation, and later uh, again you next day you will open that bank reconciliation. Okay, now you cannot view previous tick transactions. If you want to view those transactions, you can tick this display reconcile transactions. Okay, then those ticked or reconciled transactions will display. If you want to hide previously reconciled transaction, you can tick. If you want to view, you can tick display reconciled transactions. Then also you can view reconcile previously, amount also you can view. Then you can complete your bank reconciliation. And also one important thing, now here normally in other systems, when you are doing bank reconciliation, it will show as asset date. Then you can enter that date, and then it will display all unreconciled transaction till that date. But here you need to select from date and to date, then these strange transactions will display. And if you have any unreconciled transactions from more than 6-7 months, you can backdated this from date, and you can do your bank reconciliation. Okay. If you have old unreconciled transaction, unrealized check, or uh, unrealized deposit available, you can select little old date, and after that you can view those transactions. Right now I have selected 2019, then those all transactions will display here. After that you can do the reconciliation and print. You can take a printout and you can save this bank reconciliation. Like that you can do for all your bank accounts. Okay, now you can practice bank reconciliation. Okay, now we can move to bank reports. Go to banking reports. First, list of banks and credit cards. From this report, you can view a single account or your all bank accounts, and you can select active, inactive, or both bank accounts, and you can select bank account category wise. Okay. After you select report filters, you can view report. From this report, you can view your bank accounts, bank account name, category, active, and description and balance of that bank account. If you have foreign currency bank account, system will display foreign currency bank account in uh, respective currency. Right. Next, bank and credit card transactions. From this report, you can generate bank account transactions for a particular period, or you can select your bank accounts. From date range, you can select your date range. You can select monthly, quarterly, yearly, or all transaction, or you can select custom date and set a date, or you can select bank accounts and you can select category. From status, you can select active or inactive or both accounts. And from transaction type, you can select uh, particular transaction type. If you want to view only account payment or supplier payment, you can select supplier payment. And if you want to view customer receipts, you can select customer receipts. Or if you want to view all bank transactions, you can, without selecting any transaction type, you can generate the report. And also, if you want to view that transaction in foreign currency, you can tick use foreign currency option. Right. In this report, you can view that bank account, then transaction date, description, transaction type, customer account, customer supplier, then transaction amount. You can view opening balance, transactions, closing balance, and movement for the period. And also you can view balance for after each transaction. Like this, you can generate your banks and credit card report. Next report, cash movement report. This report also, from report filters, you can select bank accounts and bank account category. And from report options, you can select date range, and you can view report. Here you can view the selected period, balance brought forward, and bank account balance brought forward, cash received, cash paid out, total transfers, and balance carried forward. You can select this report also particular period. If you want to view monthly, you can view monthly. And here there's option show zero balance account. If you want to view zero balance account, you can tick this option. Sometimes your bank balance will be zero. Then if you want to view that zero balance account also, you can tick this option. Next report is cash flow report. You can generate your cash flow report. total inflows, outflows, and net money in out. This report also, there are few options. You can select date range, and if you want to group by month or quarter, you can group by. Right? Then it will display. Now we have selected yearly, date range yearly, and each month inflows, outflows, net money in out system will display. And if you want to view quarterly also you can view quarter 1, quarter 2, quarter 3, quarter 4, and total. Next, you can select bank accounts or bank accounts categories. From status, you can view active, inactive, or uh, both active or inactive bank accounts. Next, bank transfers. Now, if you are doing any fund transfers in your bank accounts from one account to another account, if you are transferring, if you want to include those fund transfers, now for an example, you will reimburse your petty cash uh, money for petty cash, then your same bank account. Then if you want to include that transfers, you can tick this option, and if you want to remove that interbank transfers, you can untick this option. Next, style, you can view this summary or detailed format. You will take the detailed report. Here now, account receipt, you can bank charges, CBS, account payment in detail. If you want to view in detail, you can select this detail button. Okay. If you select detailed option, you can view that each transaction in detail. Now, if you view summary, you can view only customer receipts, supplier payment, accounts payment, tax payment, like that only. It's grouped by this transaction type. But if you want in detail, you can select detailed option. Right. From here, you can generate your cash flow report. Next, bank feed and audit trail. Actually, this manage bank feeds is a you can link your bank account to the system. Then when you do any transaction in your bank account, it will update in the system. So that facility is still not available in Sri Lanka. These bank accounts you can link. Currently it's not available in Sri Lanka. Therefore, we will skip that bank feed and audit trail. We will discuss only first 4 reports only. Okay. Now you can generate these first 4 reports. List of banks and credit cards, bank and credit card transactions, cash movement, and cash flow reports. Okay, now if your auditors request your bank transactions, you can use this banks and credit card transactions. And if you want to generate cash flow report for your management reports, you can generate from this cash flow report. And cash movement report also you can utilize for that decision making for your company. And you can generate those report detailed or summary, or you can select for a particular period and you can generate these reports. Right, next, adjust opening balances. Now assume after you enter bank opening balances, you want to change your bank opening balance. That case, you can use this special option. Go to banking, select special, select adjust bank and credit card opening balances. Here you can select that bank account and enter reason why you are changing. After you select this bank account, you can view current opening balance. And if you want to change, you can enter your new opening balance under new opening balance. And here you can view your opening balance as a date, and you can save this opening balance change. Okay, if you want to change your opening balances, go to banking, special, adjust bank and credit card opening balances. You can select your bank account. Then after that, you need to enter reason why you are changing this bank account balance. After you select this bank account, you can view current opening balance, current entered opening balance. Then you can change your opening balance and you can save this opening balance changes. Right, now you can check that opening balance changes. Right. Now we have completed banking module. From here, banking, you can create your bank accounts. First, you need to enter your bank account name, and you can select category. You can select default payment method. You can enter bank name, account number, branch name, branch code, and if you have any opening balance, you can enter opening balance. And when you are creating these bank accounts, now for an example, if you have two bank accounts in uh, same bank, same commercial bank has two bank accounts, then you can enter combank 1, combank 2, and you can enter your bank name as commercial bank. And also if you want to maintain petty cash accounts, you can enter bank account name as petty cash, and uh, you need to enter bank name also. Without entering bank name, you cannot create bank accounts. Therefore, when you are creating petty cash accounts or cash in hand account, please enter that same name to bank name. Then if you have foreign currency bank account, you can select currency from here. You can create foreign currency from company, change company settings, and from multi-currency you can create that multi-currencies. And from here you can add note or you can attach documents. Then in the action date you will get a message under this dashboard. For an example, if you want to submit or submit any reports to bank, or you want to get checkbooks from the bank, you can enter under this under notes. Then when action date reaches, it will display under this to-do list. And in practical situations, sometimes some companies uh, accept that PD checks, post-dated checks. If you want to maintain post-dated checks, you can create a post-dated check account. And when you are receiving post-dated check, now for an example, today 7th, July 7th, you will receive a check. That check date is 31st July. So in that case, that is a post-dated check. When you are receiving, when you are entering that customer receipt, you can select post-dated checks account as bank account. Then when you are depositing that check on 31st July, you can transfer from that PDC check bank account to your depositing bank. Right, those are little practical things. After you sometimes some of you are working, and if you are working you can get that experience, that PD checks. And if you are accepting PD checks, you can enter that checks to PD's that bank account. You can select as PD checks bank account. Then you can check what are the checks in that as PD checks, because after that date only we can deposit to the bank account. So every day we cannot check that check date and when can we deposit. So therefore you can create PD checks bank account, and from the system you can view that PD checks date. Right. Then you can create bank accounts categories. You can create a category as current account, savings account, petty cash, like that. You can create categories by clicking this add category. Then transaction, you can enter bank transaction. If you want, you can import your bank statement. And transaction, you can do account transactions, customer transactions, supplier transactions, bank transfers, and tax payments. Next, bank reconciliation. You can do the bank reconciliation from the system, select bank account, enter bank statement balance, and from date you can to date you can enter your bank statement period. And if you have any old unrealized or unpresented checks, you can select little early day as your from date. Okay, now if for an example, if you are doing June bank reconciliation, as from date you can enter January, February, like that. Those little old months you can select as from date. If you are correctly done your reconciliation, this difference should be 0. Next, bank reports you can generate. Banks and credit cards list. Then bank transaction you can generate for a particular period time, and you can select bank accounts and uh, bank account categories. Next, cash movement report and cash flow reports. Right, we will go for a short break. We will start 4:40. After that, we can start account module. Okay, we will start accounts module. From here, we can create GL accounts. You can click create GL accounts from go to accounts list, list of accounts, or you can click add an account and you can create your GL accounts. Actually, there are two types of accounts. One is GL accounts and other one is item accounts. Now, when you are creating item accounts, I think you can remember there are accounts in item accounts. So those accounts you can create from these item accounts. Other GL accounts you can create from as accounts. Okay, first we will create a GL account. Go to accounts list of accounts, and click add an account. Here you can create add an accounts, select GL, add an account, and enter account name. Now for an example, if you want to create sales accounts, cost of sales accounts, expense account, asset account, liability accounts, those accounts you can create from here. First, you can enter the account name, and you can select the category. You can select sales, cost of sales, other income, expenses, income, non-current asset, non-current current liabilities, and owner's equity. Then if you have any opening balances, for an example, if you are implementing the system for all company, you may have opening balances. Then you can enter the opening balance, and you can select opening balance date. And if that GL accounts has taxes, you can select default tax. And if taxes not available, you can select no tax, and taxes available, you can select that relevant tax. After that, you can save your GL accounts. Next, item accounts. From here, by clicking this add an account, you can enter item account name, and you can select report group type, whether it's item for that sales account, cost of sales, or purchases, inventory, item adjustment account. You can select, if it is sales, you can select sales, and you can enter that item account name. Okay, now you can create GL accounts and item accounts. Now system already has some default accounts. If you want, you can rename those accounts, and you can, if you want, remove all accounts and create accounts from yourself. And sometimes you can see some accounts, they are system accounts. Those accounts you cannot delete. That accounts in blue color you can edit or you can delete, and black color accounts you cannot delete. And if you are creating bank accounts, that accounts also will display under list of accounts. Okay, we will do a small example. Uh, Now assume you will start a fundraising project. Assume for COVID infected your university students, you are giving some donation. To raise your fund, you will uh, sell some item. Assume you are selling t-shirts. Okay, you will buy t-shirt from your supplier, and each faculty you will sell that t-shirts. Okay, then you can create your customers as that faculties as customers, and you can create item for that t-shirt. And also you want to identify or you want to separately present that each department how much you have earned in the profit and loss report. Okay, profit and loss report, you want to mention each department how much you have earned. And also you can create some expenses account related to that project. Those accounts you can create under accounts. Okay, you can set a price for that t-shirt selling and selling price, and furthermore you can add some discounted rate for your lecturers, or sometimes or lecturers or students. You can create two price list like that. Shall we do small example? Okay, now you can create supplier for that t-shirt purchases. You can create an item as t-shirt, and you can create a few faculties as your customer, and you can create GL accounts for that inter-transaction for that uh, expenses related to that project. And you can create item accounts for identify that department wise or faculty wise income, and you can create a separate bank account for maintain those transactions. Okay, please take a few minutes, and you can enter those transactions. There's a question. Can we get dummy data to practice this? Yes, you can enter dummy data. You can enter any data. Actually, now we have completed uh, all basic transactions. We have created customers, suppliers, items, banking, GL accounts. Now you can enter any data. Actually, you from this example, you can get an idea what are the processes when you are entering transaction, or if you are in practical situation, how can you enter transaction, or how can you enter master files, how to enter customer, supplier, items, banking, GL accounts, price list, those things. So you can get an idea about uh, how to manage your transactions in the system. Okay, so you can enter any data. You can get anything. Any values, any customer, any supplier, you can enter to practice this example. Okay, that's another question. Can we get sample company data to practice all things in here? So you are requesting to get any customer or supplier name, item name, like that, or if it is actually it's better from yourself, you can think and enter details. Assume in future you are going to start a new company, and or if you have any idea to start your own company, let's think like that, and you can create some items, suppliers, uh, GL accounts, and you can enter transactions. Okay, you can do that example as a homework. Now we will move to next section, item account reporting groups. Okay, now in account reporting groups, we can group our GL accounts. Okay, now for an example, if we have we can categorize our expenses as administration expenses, distribution expenses, finance expenses, like marketing expenses, like that. We can categorize our expenses. Now you can go to accounts, account reporting groups, and then this screen will display. From here, you can select accounts and you can group your accounts. Now, after you group your accounts, when you are generating your profit and loss report, you can view this administration expenses. Under that, you can view electricity, telephone, traveling, wages, expenses. Then distribution expenses, finance expenses, marketing expenses. Like that, you can uh, view that those GL accounts as a group. Okay. Furthermore, now if you want to get total of that group, you can untick this option. There's an option reporting group detail. If you tick this option, you can view detailed report that under administration expenses, electricity, telephone expenses separately you can view. If you untick this option, you can view these expenses, administration expenses, as a total. Now here, previous report, administration expenses, you can view each GL account wise. Here you can view as a summary, right? Like that, you can group your accounts. You can group your accounts by ticking here. Now in this one, you can tick and click this icon, and here you can enter that group name. Then it will display as a group. And later, if you want to add any GL account to that group, now for an example, we want to add office expenses to administration expenses. Then you can tick here office expenses and click this icon. Actually, there are three options. If you want to create new group, you can select first option. And if you want to add to a existing group, you can select second option, select account report group, and you can select that account and you can save. Then you can see these office expenses under administration expenses. And if you want to remove any GL account from that group, you can select that, or you can tick that account and select third option, remove from account report group. Okay. Now, main advantage of this report grouping is we can view, we can generate our reports, summary report or as a detailed report if we have that report grouping. You can create report grouping by selecting those accounts and click this icon. If you want to create new group, you can select add account report group and you can enter the name and you can save. And if you want to add this GL account to existing group, you can select second option, select account report group, and you can select the relevant account. And if you want to remove any GL accounts from a particular group, you can select third option, remove from account report group. Okay, after you create groups, you can save that reporting group. Okay, now if you take that previous example, now assume you are doing some fundraising project, and you are printing or you are selling t-shirt, cap and pen. Then when you are creating accounts, first you need to create items. When you are creating items, you can select now you can first you can enter create a t-shirt account. Then in this sales account, if you want to mention t-shirt income separately, you can create a sales account for t-shirt. Okay, here you can create sales account, item sales account as t-shirt. Then when you are selling that t-shirts, it will display separately in your PNL. And then when you are creating caps, you can enter caps as description, and item sales account, item accounts under item sales account, you can create a new account, new sales account for caps. And cost of sales also, you can create new accounts, cost of sales caps, like that you can create. Then if you are selling pens, you can create item for pens, and you can create new item sales account as pen. Then when you are selling those items, when you are generate that profit and loss report, you can view that t-shirt income separately, pen income separately, cap income separately, you can view. Here you can view this under sales. Here also separate accounts available, transport, weddings, like that accounts available. In your example, you can view sales t-shirt income separately, caps income separately, and pen income separately. Assume now you are doing this project every year. Okay, every year you are selling uh, t-shirt, cap and pen. Now if you want, you can group that account. Now for an example, sales account, assume that t-shirt, pen, cap. Then you can select those three accounts, and you can select that project name. You can when you are doing this project, you may create a project name. That project name you can use for report grouping. Then when you are generating your profit and loss report, it will display the project name. Then after that that your income will display as sub accounts. First that your project name, assume COVID relief project or some COVID donation fund, or like that account will display. After that, under that t-shirt income, cap income, pen income will display as a sub account. Okay, and also if you want to view total project income, you can untick this reporting group detail, and you can view that account as a single line. Okay, that project income you can view separate line. And also you can create few GL accounts for that one, that project, transport expenses, then uh, refreshment, if when you are selling that t-shirt, when you are going to sell that, you will buy some food, drinks, like that, uh, water, those expenses you can create refreshment expenses, selling expenses, like that you can create a few GL accounts. And if you want to uh, view those GL accounts uh, as a group, you can create a reporting group for that. Those accounts also you can create expenses for that project. Then when you are generating profit and loss report, you can view uh, as a group, okay, for expenses for that group, that project. Then you can when you are purchasing, you can create a supplier, and you can enter supplier invoices, and you can create customers, and uh, for sell that items. Then you can create a bank account for that project. Then you can enter those transactions, uh, payment for that suppliers, receiving money from your friends or lecturers. Those things you can enter to that branch bank account. Okay, like that. You can practice that example. Please think the before enter transactions, you can decide how can I do this transaction, what should I do, then what are the master files I should create, then how to enter transaction, and you can enter. After deciding that, you can enter transaction. Okay, right. Next, we will move to this adjust account opening balances. From here, you can change your opening balance. You can select your GL accounts, and if that account has a balance, assume we select first account, and currently it has a balance, and we want to change that balance, like customer opening balance, supplier opening balance, item opening balance. We have changed our opening balance. Same way we can change account opening balance. First you need to select that account. After that you need to enter why you are changing your opening balance, and if opening balance available, you can view that opening balance, and if you want to change, you can enter under new opening balance. After that you can select opening balance as a date, and you can save opening balance change. Okay, now after you enter your opening balances, later you want to change your opening balance, then you can go to accounts, adjust account opening balances, select your GL account, enter reason why you are changing, then that this account balance will display here, and you can enter new opening balance and opening balance as that date, and you can save. Okay, like that you can change opening balance if you want, and now you can practice that how to change opening balance. Right, next we will move to reports. From here you can generate account listing report. You can select GL category, and you can select period, and you can view the report. From this report you can view account name, category, active or inactive, account description, and account balance. Then next report, actually this account listing you can view from this list of accounts grid. Here also you can view account name, category, description, balance, and here you can sort by clicking this heading, ascending or descending order. Right, next report, account transaction report. Here you can generate your account transaction report for a particular period, and you can select accounts and transaction type based on transaction type, account payment, account receipt, credit note. Then if you are maintaining your analysis code, you can view analysis code wise report. Okay, from here you can select your analysis code. And here sort by, you can sort by account name or financial category. Then from status you can view active, inactive, or both accounts. Now this account report, account transaction report, you can view account name, opening balance, transaction, and closing balance, movement for the period. Mostly when you are doing audits, your auditors will request account transaction report. When auditors request or for any other reason, if you want to generate account transaction report, you can use this report. Okay, you can select date range, account or all accounts, or you can select category, sales accounts, cost of sales account, asset account, liability account. Then from transaction type, you can select transaction type, payment, receipts, adjustments. Then you can select department, or if you are maintaining analysis code, you can use analysis code, and you can view the report. And when you are sorting these accounts, you can sort by the account name or financial category wise. If you select a financial category, it will sort by sales, then cost of sales, uh, then expenses, like that it will display. And if you select account, it will sort by account name. Okay, now you can generate this account transactions report. Okay, now we have completed accounts module. From accounts module, you can create GL accounts and item accounts. Uh, you can create account reporting groups. When you are grouping your accounts, you can view sub accounts transaction, or you can view group total, and you can adjust your opening balances, and you can generate account listing report and account transactions report. Right, now we have completed main modules: customer, supplier, items, banking and accounts module. Next we will move to accountants area. First, add a note. Now from here, if you want to send a message to your users, you can use this. You can select type, then due date, subject, note, and if you want to attach any documents, you can attach here. After you enter that notes, you can view under accountant dashboard. You can go to home, select accountant dashboard. Under accountant dashboard, accountant note, you can view those notes. Then next one, process journal entries. Now from here you can enter your journal entries. Okay, now for an example, if you want to enter your depreciation journal entry, you can enter from here. Now this system, there's a little different compared to other softwares. Here one line you can enter the credit account and debit account. Okay, no need to enter in two lines. One line you can enter debit account and credit account. You can go to accountants area, process journal entries, and first you need to enter date, transaction date. Then from effect you can select debit or credit account, and next account you can select your GL account. Now for an example, if you want to add depreciation account or depreciation journal entry, uh, we can enter that, we can select our accounts and we can enter reference, journal entry number, description, depreciation for the month of June. Then if taxes available, we can select tax, and we can enter that amount. And from here, by affecting account, we can select the credit account. Now if you select debit here, you can select the credit account here. Same way, if you are paying salary payment, you can enter debit account as wages expenses, and liability account as wages payable. Like that, one line you can enter the debit account and credit account. And if you are maintaining your analysis code, you can select your analysis code, right? After you enter, you can save this transaction, right? Furthermore, now in this journal entry also, you can enter as two steps. Now first one, now assume in your company you have assistant, and that your assistant will enter these journal entries. After that, you will check those journal entries and you will review those journal entries. Okay, there are two steps. First, your assistant will enter these journal entries and you will check and review those journal entries. Now, after you enter, or after your assistant enter these transactions, and if we save this transaction, those accounts or those transactions will not go into your GL accounts. These amounts will not go into GL accounts. After you reviewed only, these transactions will uh, debit or credit to your GL accounts. Okay, there are two steps. Your users cannot your assistant can enter transaction. After that, you can review, and you can process that, or you can review that transaction. After reviewing only, it will go to your GL account. Okay, when reviewing also, you can select few transaction, and you can click this mark selected as review. Then those accounts will only review. And if you want to review all accounts, all transaction, you can select this, or you can click this mark all as review. Okay, uh, like that you can process journal entries. And also, if you want to add any line, you can, by clicking this plus mark, you can add. And if you want to delete any line, you can delete by clicking this red color mark. Right, and there are few buttons, inactivated buttons. If you want to change, or if you want to mark as reviewed, you can select those GL transactions, and you can select this mark as reviewed. And if you want to delete more than one line, you can tick those lines and you can delete. And if you want to batch edit, you can select those lines and click this batch edit. Now here we will change to credit. Then you can see these two accounts, that two lines has changed to credit. Okay, after that you can finish. Then again we will change to debit. Right, these two accounts has changed to debit. Like that you can use batch edit. Right, now you can enter journal entry, and you can check whether it's transferred to your GL accounts. You can enter journal entries by go to accountants area, process journal entries. Okay, next we will move to recurring journal entries. Right. In recurring journal entries, we can schedule our journal entries, then schedule date that transaction will process. Okay, we can enter recurring journal entries, and after we set recurring journal entries, that particular date, system will process that journal entry. Go to accountants area, recurring journal entries, click add recurring journal. Here under template name, we need to enter that our journal entry name. And if you tick on this mark as reviewed, system will automatically review. Okay, now in previous journal entries, we have enter journal entry, and next person also can review, then after that only it will process. Or actually you can use this journal entry as two steps. So if you are the only one entering enter journal entries at once, you can process or you can review those transactions. Okay, now if you have assistant and you want to check and review, you can use that first method that your assistant will enter and you will mark as reviewed. And if you are enter, so no need to check again. Therefore after you enter, you can click mark all as review, then those transaction will process. Then this recurring journal entries, we can enter journal entry, assume depreciation, and we can enter some reference and description. And we can select, or we can enter amount, and we can select credit account. Okay, now we have entered our journal entry. Then we can schedule this journal entry. Here you can select recurrences and timing. Now if you want to process that journal entry every month, you can select monthly, and you can select the date. Now assume every 25th we want to process this transaction. We can select that day 25 and every 1 month. Then if you want to process this journal entry every year, you can select yearly, and you can select that year. Every 1 year. Here we can select March 31st. Like that we can set our journal entry recurrence. Then we can select recurrence range. You can, if you want to continue that journal entry, you can select no end date. And if you want to select after some recurrence timing, if you want to give, now for an example, you will lease a vehicle. You will lease a vehicle, and that you want to pay 60 installment. You want to enter that, or you want to schedule that journal entry 60, uh, then 5 years, every month you are paying. So therefore there are 60 occurrences. So you can enter and after 60 occurrences, then system will complete 60 transactions and it will stop. Okay, every month system will process that transaction and continue for 5 years. Or else you can select a date, end by date, and you can set that journal entry. Okay, after you enter these details, you can save. I think you can remember when you are doing that customer transaction, recurring invoices, here also we have set or we have scheduled a transaction like that. When you are entering journal entry also, you can schedule your transactions. From here, you first you need to enter transaction. After that, you can schedule your transaction. From here, recurrences, you can select one time, daily, weekly, monthly, or yearly. You can set date, and you can set the recurrence range. Okay. After that, you can save. After that, you can view what are the recurring journal entries. You can here see that start date, next run, last run, end date, uh, frequently mark as reviewed. These all transactions mark as reviewed. Then system automatically reviewed those transactions, and frequency also you can view. Okay, like that you can enter recurring journal entries. Now you can enter one recurring journal entry. If you have any rent agreement, if you want to pay rents, you can set recurring journal entry for uh, that rent. And especially if you are leasing any, or if you have any loans, bank loans, you can enter uh, those loans and lease as recurring journal entries. Then system will process those transactions as scheduled date. Okay, after you enter your recurring channels, you can view from here. And if you want to change by clicking these actions, uh, you can edit your schedule. Okay, you can edit schedule or transaction amounts, you can change. Right, now we have completed 9 sessions. Next session is our last session. That session we will complete this balance part, this management reports. And when we are doing this each module, we have completed these reports. Only thing we need to complete accounting intelligence reporting. After that, company and administration, how to set up users, how to control user access, those things we can discuss in next session. Okay, right, please go through user manuals, and please try to do some examples and get the idea how to process your transactions in the system. Okay, thank you very much. Stay safe.